Warner Brothers DCEU absolutely sucked. They made a lot of questionable decisions for no reason, and the studio was always obsessed with making $1 billion at the global box office, but they made really questionable decisions that, I don't know, the average person would probably not make these decisions. So today I came up with 10 missed movie opportunities that would have made this studio a bunch of money. Just a bunch of money. People would have friggin' sold their houses to go watch these movies, would have watched them like 200 times a movie. And I don't know, y'all fumbled the bag mad heavy. So I got 10 ideas. Let's begin. I got notes for days. The first missed movie, was a standalone Batman movie. Let's go back to 2013. Man of Steel had just come out, and the studio wasn't happy with the performance of Man of Steel. Here's what I would have done. I wouldn't have done a Superman Batman movie right away. If they wanted a new Batman in that universe, if they had just decided that they were going to cast a new Batman, okay. I would not have done a Superman Batman movie right off the gate because the audience still needed to be introduced to the new Batman. So here's what I would have done. A standalone Batman movie, Batman versus Deathstroke. This was around the time when Son of Batman had just come out. It was around 2014, 2013. So you had movies like Son of Batman. You had the TV show Beware the Batman, which also had a Deathstroke rivalry. Son of Batman had a Deathstroke rivalry, Batman Deathstroke rivalry. You also had the Arkham games that there was two of them. I believe it was Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight that Deathstroke was also like in, and so that really spiced up the Batman versus Deathstroke rivalry. And this was also around the time that he was the main villain in CW's Arrow TV show, Green Arrow TV show. So Deathstroke was really gaining some popularity. Also to add to the fact that people knew him as Deadpool's daddy. So if you would have made a Batman versus Deathstroke movie, y'all would have made a billion, no questions asked. Like, Deathstroke was low-key gaining some clout. He was also known as Deadpool's daddy. And y'all already had everything laid out, the blueprint. Y'all had movies like Son of Batman. And they had a lot of, like, Batman versus Deathstroke stories at the time. Especially in the New 52, they had, like, a big rivalry going on. So that was a missed opportunity that they could have definitely made $1 billion. The second missed opportunity, still in 2013, 14-ish, when the studio wanted to bring Batman into the Man of Steel universe. Here's what I would have done instead. I wouldn't have cast a new Batman. I would have brought back Christian Bale because they wanted to do a Superman Batman movie right away to get those gajillion dollars. I would have brought back Christian Bale. And I don't want to hear it. He didn't want to come back. He wanted to come back if Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale's director, had also come back for the movies. Christian Bale was going to come back. Christian Bale, of course, did the very successful Dark Knight trilogy with Christopher Nolan. So he would have came back again if Christopher Nolan was in charge of a Batman Superman movie. I don't want to hear it. There was definitely ways the studio could have gotten around this. I don't want to hear it. If y'all would have done a Superman Batman movie with Christian Bale and Henry Cavill, $1 billion right there. First of all, the Dark Knight trilogy was already $1 billion trilogy. So that was already like, at least you were going to get like 600 million at the box office guaranteed. Man of Steel didn't do that bad at the box office. And I honestly think that their chemistry would have been a lot better than Henry and Ben Affleck. No disrespect to Ben Affleck, but I don't know. Christian Bale's Batman just feels more banter-ish. And like you could get a lot more banter out of him, and it would have been nice to see the banter between him and Superman. And I don't want to hear this talk about there has to be a Batman versus Superman story. I don't want to hear that. In a lot of stories where Batman and Superman meet, they fight initially, but it doesn't take long for them to team up. You could see this in the animated Timverse movie, World's Finest, where Batman and Superman did fight at first. Batman even stole Superman's girl, Chika Chika. But at the end of the day, like they still became friends, good buddies, and they teamed up. You also had like stories like Justice League War, so they could have done a World Finest type movie. But like initially they fight a little bit, but then like the Joker, or not the Joker, like I don't know, just some villain and Lex Luthor team up. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe y'all could have recast the Joker. That would have been really controversial and shit. But I think it could have worked. But yeah, that's it for the second missed opportunity to make $1 billion for Warner Brothers. Now let's go right into 2016. BVS just came out. We also have the first Suicide Squad movie in 2016. Right away, one of the things that was set up in that movie was a dead Robin. We saw a dead Robin costume in Batman's Batcave, in Ben Affleck Batman's Batcave, and this could have set up an Under the Red Hood movie for Ben Affleck's Batman. You already had the Joker cast in Heath Ledger. You had a dead Robin. You had an old Batman. All that was missing was Black Mask, who they totally ruined him in that Birds of Prey movie. And you already had a pretty good source material because a lot of DC fans like the Under the Red Hood story, and they already had like a really good movie. Like if you talk to DC animated movie fan and you like ask them what their favorite movie is, they're gonna say three things or four things. They're either gonna say Batman Mask of the Phantasm, they're gonna say Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2, they're gonna say Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, or they're gonna say Batman Under the Red Hood. It's one of those four usually. That my personal favorite is Justice League Crisis on 2Fs, but that doesn't matter. But y'all had everything in the bag to make a really good Under the Red Hood story, and yeah, y'all botched it up for no reason. Like y'all could have really made $1 billion, but you know, the studio is very reactive, and there's nothing we can do about that. For the fourth idea that was originated in BVS was a Trinity movie. Here's the thing. One of the things that kind of ruined BVS is that they were trying to do way too much. They were trying to introduce the whole Justice League, trying to make a Darkseid storyline, whatever. If y'all would have just had Wonder Woman in there, just Wonder Woman, none of the other Justice Leaguers, the movie would have been a lot shorter, a lot more simplified. And imagine if Superman hadn't died. Imagine that Superman hadn't died, or maybe he had died. Instead of going straight to a Justice League movie, y'all could have made a Trinity movie. A Trinity movie would have been probably just as effective at a superhero team up as a Justice League movie. Like y'all didn't have to go straight into the Justice League. Y'all could have had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman in like a poster. Like y'all could have sold it as like a movie. That would have made $1 billion. Yeah, I think that would have made $1 billion. Y'all could have done Steppenwolf as the villain for that movie instead, and yeah, like I think would have been way better. Or you could have just done Mongol. Mongol is like the main villain for a lot of like Trinity stories. If you don't know who Mongol is, he's like a Superman type villain. He's a Superman villain. Yeah, y'all could have done that instead of going like straight uh into like a Justice League movie. Y'all would have had less to set up, and y'all probably would have still made the same amount of money as if it were like a Justice League movie. Um, if you guys didn't want to make a Trinity movie or a Justice League movie, y'all could have just made a Superman versus Darkseid movie. Superman versus Darkseid is one of the most but that's number 6, by the way. That's one of the most legendary hero villain rivalries in DC. And I'm telling you, fans would have shown up for that. Especially because this was before Thanos, 2016 still. This was before Thanos showed up on the big screen. Not showed up in the big screen, but this was before everybody knew him as like the Avengers villain. Thanos, the ultimate threat. So if y'all would have just done like a Superman versus Darkseid movie, that would have been lit as hell, man. That would have been lit. People would have watched that. People would have tuned in for that. I'm telling you. But that would be assuming like Superman hadn't died in BVS, and he obviously did die in BVS. For the 7th idea, still in 2016, we have in the first Suicide Squad movie, y'all could have had obviously you could have still had the main team and whatever. Y'all could have had a lot more Batman versus Suicide Squad scenes. Like y'all could have had I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the movie Batman Assault on Arkham, but there's like this scene where Batman literally fights. It's basically a Batman versus Suicide Squad movie throughout in Batman Assault on Arkham. And y'all could have done that with the 2016 Suicide Squad movie, where you have the Suicide Squad versus like the Joker. Y'all didn't have to do Enchantress, but y'all could have done Enchantress, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that would have been way too many storylines. But you also could have had like Batman like hunting down the Suicide Squad, and then he sees Enchantress, and he sees that the Suicide Squad is trying to stop Enchantress to save the world, and he could have teamed up with the Suicide Squad. That would have been lit. People would have gone back to see a Batman versus like the whole Suicide Squad scene. Like he's fighting Killer Croc, he's fighting all these guys, which did happen in Batman Assault on Arkham. Like a full extended scene of Batman just like fighting all of the Suicide Squad members. Maybe you could have had Ezra Miller's The Flash in there for more time as well. You could have had like Batman and Ezra Miller Flash teaming up. Or maybe just Batman. That would have been freaking lit. That would have made $1 billion, I'm telling you. Because the thing with a lot of movies that make $1 billion, it's not necessarily like the whole storyline of the movie that makes $1 billion. It's probably just like some really cool scenes that people just go back to watch. I can say that for me personally. There's movies like Avengers Infinity War, or like the first Aquaman movie. I just went back and watched for like some scenes, not for exactly the whole movie. I just couldn't get some scenes out of my mind, and I just had to watch them again. You feel me? Like that's probably a reason why a movie that also released that year, a Marvel movie, Captain America: Civil War, made $1 billion, because you had the airport battle between Team Captain America and Team Iron Man. And yeah, like people probably went back to see that scene a lot. You also had Spider-Man, obviously. But it was just like a lit time at the movies. And y'all could have had the same thing with Batman just being a fucking badass. For the eighth missed movie opportunity, this is going to be in 2017. Instead of y'all doing like Steppenwolf for the first Justice League movie, y'all could have probably just done Darkseid right off the gate for the first Justice League installment. There's a lot of stories, especially like in the New 52 and the animated Justice League War movie, where Darkseid is the first villain. So it doesn't have to be like a build up. Oh, Darkseid is coming. Darkseid is coming. Y'all could have done him out the gate. It didn't have to be Steppenwolf. Like y'all could have just gone straight balls to the wall, Darkseid, and people would have known of him before Thanos. Not to mention it would have been way more lit, and people would have shown up for Darkseid versus Justice League movie. Y'all could have still had the Superman resurrection story, because Darkseid would have been lit. Like, it would have been dope. For the ninth idea, or not idea, missed movie opportunity for DC, is let me check my notes. A Black Adam versus Superman and Shazam movie. We're now going to 2019, in the first Shazam movie. Same thing, like y'all could be saying, oh, it's too soon for a movie that big when y'all still haven't introduced Shazam real well. Have y'all seen the Black Adam versus Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam short, the animated short released by DC? That short is it has a Billy Batson Shazam origin story, but you also get the main fight between Black Adam and, of course, the two heroes. So y'all could have had that same thing for that movie. Would have made $1 billion. People love the Superman Black Adam rivalry. They love the Shazam Black Adam rivalry. And yeah, why y'all had to do Cavill dirty like that? Like, what did he do to make y'all N-words that mad that y'all couldn't just, like, give him a shot, man? Come on, y'all would have made some money. Y'all got Superman on your team, and y'all not putting him in movies. And it sucks because everything was set up. They already had a lot of animated inspiration to go off of. A lot of rivalries in animation that the fans love. The fans love, and we know that it would have done really well in the movies. I know that a lot of fans would have went back to see a Batman Deathstroke battle, or a Superman Darkseid battle, or a Batman versus Suicide Squad battle, or a Black Adam versus Superman battle. It would have been lit, man. It would have been a lit time at the movies. And I'm telling you, a lot of people don't go back to specific movies for, like, the whole movies. Just, like, certain scenes that really just you gravitate towards and you can't get out of your mind. And it was definitely a missed opportunity. Now for the last opportunity. Damn, I'm starting to get tired from talking this much. We have I thought of this was set up also, a Flashpoint movie. We, of course, had a Flashpoint movie this year in 2023. Flashpoint-ish movie with Ezra Miller's The Flash, Andy Muschietti's The Flash. But Zack Snyder also wanted to do a Flashpoint movie. And Zack Snyder's Flashpoint movie would have been lit. Like, that's what I'm going to say. This is assuming we would have had Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and all those other guys that are famous in the DCEU. All those people. It would have definitely made $1 billion. Flashpoint is a story beloved by a lot of DC fans. Y'all also would have had the Bruce Wayne's father being Batman. That would have definitely been $1 billion movie right there. Probably the least likely to hit $1 billion, because the general audience just doesn't, like, know of Flashpoint that well. But I think it would have made $1 billion. You got, like, this twisted timeline and shit. It would have been lit. But yeah, that's it for my $1 billion movies missed by the DCU. They completely fumbled the bag, and I just have one message for Warner Brothers. Y'all have to start trusting your directors. Y'all can't just always be trying to manipulate the strings over and over. It's not gonna work. Y'all need to trust your directors and trust the process, man. Trust the process.